everybody, welcome back to the Essential Owl. Erin here to cut the Karmic soap that I made earlier today. I realized as I was editing that I was pronouncing that word incorrectly. So there I am correcting it. Karmic. This was the soap that was colored with the rose, kaolin clay, and titanium dioxide. And let me just show you all how this turned out. I am in love. Look at that. There's one side, then the other. There you go. And then there is how the top turned out. I love it. Love it so much. I'm glad that I did sprinkle salt kind of like all over the top, and I still have this defined line of salts down the middle. I am very happy with how this turned out. This is just how I envisioned this soap when I got the clay and I had the fragrance oil. I just knew it was a match made in heaven. So I'm really excited to cut into the middle. Now, because this soap has salts on top, I do not want to cut it this way. Because if that wire comes down and it comes down on some of these little salt bits, it's going to drag them through the soap and create lines and divots, and I want to avoid that. So, to remedy that, I will be cutting the soap on its side this way. Alright. So, let's get started, shall we? I'm hoping that this soap is not too soft, because if you all are new to this channel, then you might not know, but several episodes back, I was having issues with getting strange scuff looking marks, not wire drag marks, but like scuff marks. And I was getting really irritated. I could not figure out why I was getting those marks. So I consulted some soapy friends, and they said, well, your soap may be too soft when you're cutting it. That will sometimes create those marks. So for the next batch after that, I left it a little while longer to set before I cut it, and lo and behold, no lines, no scuffs. So this soap was made about 5 hours ago. It is still pretty warm to the touch, just for your curiosity's sake. So on the outside, the soap is still 92 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not quite room temperature, but it almost never is when I cut it with this water discount that I do. Because if I waited until the soap was completely room temperature, it would be too hard to cut with the wire cutter at least. And I'm terrible at cutting freehand. Like with a knife, I can't, I just can't do it. It always turns into a big old honking mess. So, let's get this first cut. I'm so nervous. And it is quite soft, so I might do this one bar and then come back if I have those scuffs. Alright, so here is the back of the soap. And then here is the inside. Yay! Oh, it's so pretty. And as you can see, there are no scuff marks. So this is, even though it's a little bit soft still, which I'm kind of surprised about. Usually it's pretty hard by now to the point where it makes a tapping sound when I kind of knock on it with my knuckles. But this is still just a little bit soft, slightly tacky. But that's fine as long as I don't get those scuff marks. I'm okay with it. I love this. This is so pretty. Those are exactly the swirls that I wanted. The top is beautiful with all those salts on it. Oh my goodness. I love it. Tell me what you guys think. What do you think of this soap? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know. I want to hear. and I highly recommend this fragrance oil to anyone. Speaking of, I was doing a little bit of research on this fragrance oil in particular from Nurture Soap, and it does go by another name now. It is not called Karmic anymore, and that's because it was one of their dupe fragrances. So recently, Nurture Soap changed all of their dupe fragrance names. I'm not sure why. They probably did it for legal reasons. But this fragrance oil is now called Kismet, Kismet. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But it's called Kismet now. It's not Karma anymore. I just happened to purchase that fragrance oil some time ago when all of their dupes were still called by their dupe names. So there's one side. And then the other. I love these swirls in the top. Here you can see a little bit of a hole. That does not go all the way through the soap or anything. That's just from the white portion of the soap that I poured on top to swirl with. There was a small air bubble that popped. So that's all that is. But I love it so much. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm so happy. I love when a soap comes out the way that I picture it. Or really, this soap turned out better than what I saw in my head. So that's always a plus. When a soap not only works out, but looks better than you intended it to. Not to say that I intended it to look bad, of course. But it, it turned out much better than I even had pictured. And what I had in my head was pretty. I love it. And this fragrance oil smells so nice. Soap's a little bit sticky, so it's sticking to this wire just a little bit more than normal. Some of the salts are falling off. That's totally fine. Those are the ones that are loose. They didn't quite settle into the soap, but the majority of them stay on. So that's totally fine. I love it. I know I keep saying that, but I very much like it. There's one side and the other. One of my favorite things about soap and cutting soap is that if you've done a swirl, every single bar is different. And I just love it. I love seeing how the different colors swirled together, and it's very nice. There's one side and the other. Now, one other thing about this fragrance is that it does say that it discolors, but it says that there is light discoloration. And, of course, this soap, if it was going to discolor, it's not going to do it until after it has sat for usually a couple of days is when I notice discoloration actually happening in my soaps. But because it is light discoloration, and because I've colored it with this isn't really a dark color, but it's a very prominent color, it may not have any noticeable discoloration at all. Now, if it were to be a dark discoloration, this would turn into a dark brown, which would be fine. But if that had been the case, I wouldn't have colored it. So if there is discoloration, it's not going to be much. The white might go a little bit more tan or creamy colored. that's totally fine. Oh, I like that one. Look at that. That's cool. Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Awesome. I love when my cuts come out the way that they're supposed to. That is awesome. Okay, so there is the final bar for the Karmic soap. If you like this soap, please let me know in the comments down below. Tell me what you think about it. I love to hear from you guys. It makes my day. Let me know what you think about this channel. Tell me about how your day was. If you enjoy these videos, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I have a giveaway going on right now. I'm going to be choosing the winner in just a couple of days. So if you're not subscribed, I recommend that you do so that you can be eligible for the giveaway. And also because I would just love to have you guys be a part of this little YouTube family that we have going on here. So that is all that I have for you all today. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.